There are some comparisons that are troubling, which is why I made that little companion DVD, When Government Becomes God, because, Anita, government became God in Germany, correct?
Hitler made himself the
Yes,
savior.
the savior.
And in fact, he insisted that the Christ picture and the crucifix had to be taken out of the church, and Hitler's picture had to be in the church. And pastors who did not go along with him on any of what he had in mind. In fact, my own pastor in 1933-34 wrote a letter to Hitler telling him that he and his colleagues everywhere are not happy with what he's doing to the Jewish people.
I'm just going to give just a few comparisons here, some parallels, because, Adolf Hitler he literally promised hope and change, because Germany was devastated from World War I. And we bring that out, and we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Germany was devastated from World War I because her glory days were gone. And again, this Messiah, Adolf Hitler, came along and promised everything. I mean, he wasn't able to deliver much, as a matter of fact. And I think one of the things in the film that so moves me is the devastation of Germany post-war. During and post-war, the country is a shell of a country. The film brings that out very effectively. This is what happens when you sign on to a Messiah who's not the Messiah. Everything falls apart. But we have some other comparisons going on as well. I think one of the things that I saw as I was studying some of this is that socialism was okay. It became okay to the German people because it was a means to an end. It was a means that they were going to get their glory days back if they bought into socialism and let the government take over. They were deceived, but they allowed it to happen willingly.
Yeah, they did. And he had a very charismatic way.
Exactly.
And one thing, too, was very deceiving. He would start every speech, God the just.
What did he mean by that?
Well, praising God for his justice and for everything that he gives. And he would raise his hands, Well, that was a fake.
Yeah. But Germany and Austria, people went to church in Germany and Austria. I mean, not every church was sound. As a matter of fact, as I researched it, most churches were not sound. Some were, but most were not sound. And another thing I learned was that, and I put that in this companion DVD, When Government Becomes God, the pastors in Nazi Germany allowed bad things to come into the pulpit and into the church. They allowed mysticism. Today, that would be sort of play out through contemplative prayer and Christian yoga. The mystical, the candles, these kinds of things crept into the pulpits of churches in Nazi Germany. And Hitler wanted that because he knew that would make the church unstable. If there's any advice you could give to a pastor today to not allow these things to happen again today, what would it be?
Stick to the Bible and preach the Bible. That's what they're hired for. That's what God shows them for. And if they don't, it's going to fail. And also educate the people. Insist to have a lot of Bible study, because a lot of people are totally ignorant about things. And therefore, it is so easy for them to get swayed to something more exciting.